What's going on, guys? I'm going to give you two fun facts today about myself, alright? I'm going to open up a little bit and let you know that this has nothing to do with the rest of the video, but I definitely still like bootleggers, okay? These are dumb, really cheap, little bitty alcohol, okay? I buy them at random just because I think they're tasty. That's literally it. Second fun fact that I think people have pretty much already known, I own firearms, and I do enjoy shooting them, okay? And this is mainly around pistols, and I want to show you what is probably the goofiest video I've ever seen when it comes to firearms. At least in this one, it's not a bad one. It's not somebody not being safe. This is actually there's a little bit of safety in this. But it's just somebody being such a horrible shot that I couldn't help but to laugh. And I felt like sharing it with you guys.
Hasta la vista, little Ken. Bye-bye. Oh, bye-bye. Oh, bye-bye. Oh.
Cabrón! Go a little closer. Yeah, there you go.
Oh. Okay, hasta la vista. No.
That is some Looney Tunes Roger Rabbit levels of missing. Like, that is cartoony as hell. I have shot pistols at, any number of ranges. Now, further away, obviously, I'm not going to be able to really get an accurate shot. But close up, yeah, I'm pretty decent considering most handguns, at least in, my level of expertise, most handguns are for self-defense, very close, quarters. You're usually going to have to deal with somebody tens of feet away. That's usually going to be your mark because a pistol is not really meant to just be super high-grade accurate from 100 yards. Now, can it be? Yeah, I'm sure it can. There's plenty of guns out there that have been kind of swapped over. You have a Glock that merges into basically a semi-automatic rifle. It's just a little casing you put on. I'm not going to go into great detail of all the different firearm things, but I do know that pretty much that a pistol is meant for close, quarters. And I have to say, this guy missed the mark by quite literally inches away from him. And it reminds me of A Million Ways to Die in the West. Now, there's two clips. One of them I want to show you is just the one that I found first, but it still completely makes sense.
Hey! There we go.
There.
Alrighty.
Now, I'm sorry if you don't like A Million Ways to Die in the West. I love that movie. I don't know why. I'm a sort of big Family Guy fan, but definitely that movie was awesome. But that is the perfect representation of the video, is missing that close. But there's another clip I'd like to share with you anyway, and it has to do with a more accurate point. Yeah, you can't tell me that second clip isn't just a little bit more accurate. This is definitely not a guy that you want on your Apocalypse team, or probably even your Call of Duty team. I probably wouldn't even trust him holding on to the equipment. Somehow, that would probably be the only way it would actually fire and hit its target. But it's one of those things that I had to share with you guys. It is hilarious. Okay, I don't know if you've ever been to a shooting range, and there's always that one guy that's just like so goofy, and he cannot hit the bright side of a barn, okay? He would miss every single shot ever, and this is that guy. This is definitely a representation of that one friend. I don't know if you have that one friend, but I've had that one friend. In fact, a little bit of a story, just real quick. I don't know if you care, but we just got done buying some cheapo pistols, and I bought a High Point, the dreaded High Point, while still probably my most I would say it's the most reliable on the fact that if I run out of ammo, I can just tie it to a stick and use it as a hammer and beat the shit out of somebody. But we were just shooting some little bit of plinker rounds, just having fun. And when we got there, this one guy who swore up and down, he's like the best gun guy. He knows everything about guns, cars. He is a Wings of Redemption jackass and looks pretty similar to him. But what he would do is he talked up his Taurus. He had a Taurus series generation. I can't remember which one. But in my line of, use of any firearms, Taurus has been not the most reliable. They've jammed quite often, or they would just be, pretty much just, there was one of them that I've seen videos where they took the gun and held it and just shook it and it pop, pop, pop. That's pretty terrifying. That's very unreliable.
Certo? Coloquei o carregador e vou fechar a arma. A arma tá fechada e eu vou agitar, ela vai disparar, certo?
But anyway, basically what happened is we go to this little, homemade shooting range on like super large amount of acres, so nobody's going to get hurt. And we're getting ready to shoot. Now we're just, literally got cases and cases just sitting there. And obviously because I have a high point, it's only got like 5 or 6 shots. So I had a few mags left up and I had somebody loading them, and then we'd swap around, and I was shooting this little cheapo 45, which I still have. Hey, look, I found it. It's this little car 45, but we were shooting these. And while we were shooting them, he was having trouble. Now, I believe his was double stacked, so he should have been able to hold at least a little bit more than we were. But we were clearing roughly 100, 200 rounds easily, to the point that he only went through his mag probably twice. And what it was, he would literally jam every single bullet. Every single bullet. So he was not able to do anything with his Taurus. It kept jamming. Now, a buddy of mine told me that he was basically limp wristing. And if you don't know what limp wristing is, I'll just explain it real quick. When you shoot your firearm and you don't have it held properly with a little bit of grip, have a little bit of resistance, when it goes to pop back, this is supposed to come back and it chambers. If it can't chamber, you can't get around in there. If it doesn't chamber right, it lodges. And that's apparently what he was doing. So when it would go back, it would have all that momentum right here, and it would go to try to, pretty much rack the next bullet, but it couldn't do that because all the momentum was pretty much going to the gun. So it just did not get to shoot it up, or rack it rather. And that's pretty much what I was told. That's what he did. I was not paying attention. I was more focused on myself to make sure I could, accurately shoot everything, make sure my gun was completely clear every time we were reloading. And I made sure my partner that was loading, was properly, safe as well. And then when we swap around, we made sure everything, that's what we were worried about. But he couldn't even get the thing to fire. So I just thought it was absolutely hilarious that Mr. Professional came completely unprepared and looked like a complete baboon and did not know that, he didn't even know how to handle any small pistol. Better yet, all the plethora of guns he always said that he was like the master of type deal. He always ran around talking about how he was the jack of all trades, master of none. When in reality, he was just a jackass. He was not a jack of all trades. But yeah, guys, that's about all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.